Hello, crew world. It's Aditi, my dead friends. Today, I want to talk to you about how I have my KORG Kronos and my Triton keyboards that are sitting behind me, how I have them linked with MIDI into my AKAI MPC Live. Let's check them out. So before I go over how I have things hooked up, what I want you to understand about MIDI is that MIDI is not actually recording any actual sound. All MIDI is doing is recording the notes, where the notes played, and the velocity of the notes into the machine that you're recording the MIDI into. Okay, so for right now, how I have my MIDI set up is this MIDI cable right here going into my MIDI in of my MPC Live is coming from the MIDI out of my KORG Kronos. Okay, and I'll take you over there and show you how that thing's hooked up and how it's actually doing it here in a minute. But this is the MIDI out of my KORG Kronos going to the MIDI in of my MPC Live. This next MIDI in is my KORG Triton. So I can record, I have an 88 key KORG Triton. I can record up to 88 notes on that piano into my MPC Live. The only MIDI out is going MIDI out into my Kronos. Now having the MIDI in for my Triton and then a MIDI out going into my Kronos, I can use my Triton 88 key to play the sounds on my KORG Kronos. Now let's go over here. I'm going to record something real quick to show you how the notes get recorded into the MPC Live. So I have the camera in my hand right now, so it might get a little shaky, but what you want to do is when you're recording MIDI is to make sure you're on the right channel when you're recording. Now on my KORG Kronos, I'm in sequencer mode. I'm on track 1. I'm on MIDI channel 1. Let's swing over to the MPC Live here. Now you can see on the MPC Live, I have it set to MIDI channel 1 right here. So let's record something in. I'm going to press some keys. Let's get in the grid edit here so you can see how they come across. Okay, so now that I just recorded that piano part, now what I did is I used my KORG Triton to record these notes with its MIDI in. And now the MIDI out, this MIDI out, go into my Kronos. Those are actually sounds from my Kronos. So I recorded the notes with my KORG Triton, but when I press play on my MPC Live, that MIDI out is telling the Kronos to play those notes. That's how I'm getting the sound from the Kronos. You have to make sure, like I have my stereo outs coming out of my MPC Live, and I have stereo outs coming out of my KORG Kronos. Both of them have to have audio coming out because the audio is still coming out of the Kronos. And then when you're done doing this, you have to make sure you save here. And I also have to save the project over on my KORG Kronos and load both of them up. That way, the MPC and the Kronos can talk back and forth. So if I wanted to record track 2, I have that piano, and we go to track 2. Now what you want to do is change this to MIDI channel 2 to record a different sound. And let's go back over. And now when I'm on my KORG Kronos, you want to change its channel to channel 2. And now I'm on the second track of the Kronos. But I hope that helped a little bit with the MIDI explanation. If you have any other questions, hit me up in the comments. I'm the DD. This is My Dead Friends. Hit that like button if you could. Subscribe if you'd like. I'll catch you guys next time.